Is it good?
Yeah. What's up? This is Bottomed Out Radio.
Is this the real thing?
This is the real thing.
Oh,
WXRW.
no going back.
We can do it again, or this is good.
All right.
Cool. Where are we right now?
We are at the UWM sculpture shop.
Nice. This place is like ginormous, like the really big ceilings. My echo. I can hear my echo.
Yeah, this actually used to be outdoors, and then they put a ceiling on it.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome. Tell the people who you are.
Sorry.
Clear that throat.
My name is Aidan Gouran.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. And what do you do?
I am a visual artist, also a musician occasionally, but
Awesome.
I'm working on my sculpture degree right now.
Awesome. How long have you been doing that for?
Sculpture or
Yeah.
degree?
What year are you in your degree right now?
I will be graduating next spring.
Cool.
Yeah.
You used to do DIY stuff, or you still kind of do. Tell us about your background with that. Like, you lived at a puck house, right?
Yeah, a few of them.
Cool.
It was my first year in Milwaukee, and I didn't really know anybody aside from some friends I went to high school with. But yeah, I had talked with Scott Carey, who is in Brat Sounds
Cool.
currently.
That band's still going, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
We had talked about setting up a space to have shows in. I was completely new to the whole thing. I think I'd been to like one house show in my life before that.
Sure. A little closer if you can.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're good. Yeah.
Not two. But
Two?
yeah, regardless, I wasn't really
You're
like,
pretty new.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that first place was on Palmer. It was called Heavy Dose.
Dude, that was a sweet venue.
That's where we met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Weird.
Oh, that was great.
After that, we moved to Scarn.
Holton.
Yeah.
Holton.
Street House.
What? So that experience was like pretty good. Like, what about the scene? Like when you were doing shows at Heavy Dose, inspired you to like continue doing it?
I mean, I guess I don't know that it was. It might sound selfish, but putting on shows was the way I made friends. Like I'd never really. I'd been in like 2 different cities before settling in Milwaukee for the time being.
Where was that?
First,
quick.
Oakland, California,
Oh, nice.
and then Chicago
Cool.
in Illinois.
So once you got comfortable, that's kind of how you met people and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I never really felt like part of a community before, and yeah, the DIY community in Milwaukee, River West especially, was just like super arms wide open.
Yeah.
Scott
Hell yeah.
Stapp.
What did you start the band? You were in a band, right? From like,
Yeah.
Did you kind of meet everyone in that band at Heavy Dose at some point?
No, the first band, Milwaukee band I was in, was actually a like quasi folk
Okay.
deal.
What was your name?
It was called Flag Signals.
Awesome.
The Amanda Huff, Scott Carey.
Yes.
Yeah, that was what I was involved in for most of my time at Heavy Dose. But then Scott's band at the time, that was Denny Bolka, and they dissolved and then became Brat Sounds.
Okay.
So I played guitar in that band for very briefly,
Sure.
while they were getting going, and then the longest project I think I had
Tim the Enchanter, right?
Yeah, an unfortunate name.
I miss that band so much. You guys were funny, or you got not funny. You guys were a good act.
I mean, it was supposed to be comical.
Okay.
But no, I to answer your question, I didn't meet anybody through house shows that
Sure.
I played in projects with.
Really? Oh, you kind of all knew, like you said, you knew them before.
Yeah.
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 At Heavy Dose, were you guys kind of like just like the house band? Like, were you supporting like every show?
No, by
Okay.
no means. Especially not at Heavy Dose. That was actually like pretty
Brief.
short run. Yeah. No, between both houses, I always tried to play as little shows as possible there, just because I didn't want.
You didn't want to get burnt out.
Well, not only that, it just seems like kind of like egotistical. Like,
Yeah,
come to my house and I'm the fucking
I know what you mean.
main act. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But no, there were, especially towards the end of Scarn's run, I was getting like super burnt out, like booking.
Sure.
Just between school and work and that.
Right.
And yeah, I probably like didn't do as good a job networking as I should have
Right.
at that time. So yeah, towards the end, we did play quite a few.
Sure, but then when you moved into Scarn, you were able to kind of like balance that between some other members who liked it in the house, like the booking and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It was a lot easier.
Yeah.
'Cause it seemed like when you moved, like from Heavy Dose, like you kind of had already like a lot of good shows. I remember, and like I remember that transferring over really well. And Scarn kind of is like, looking back on it now, I feel like it's kind of like one of the more like legendary or just like more prolific venues that we've had in the past. It did a lot of shows, did a lot of shit for like a little while, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I can speak to legendary,
Right.
but then again,
And our group, maybe.
I've only been here since 2013.
Sure.
I missed a lot of cool shit happening.
You were here but like you got here right as shit, like, or not, I don't want to say plateaued, but like I mean, yes, there was things that came before you, but you kind of got here for the good years, I feel like, in my opinion. What was like, specifically Scarn Manor, just because like I think there's probably a lot of bands, or at least a few maybe watching this that have played there. What was like that whole experience like specifically?
What do you mean by that question?
Like, did you guys kind of, were you guys like kind of tight regiment for shows and stuff like that? Or was it like party house and like,
No.
with Shadow Lab?
I mean, it certainly wasn't a party house per se. I think that's something I always like wanted.
Party!
Just like people going wild and shit. Like,
Yeah, rage.
yeah, but that's not Milwaukee.
Well, yeah. No, you're right. I feel like there's a happy medium there, kind of. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
you guys weren't like a clean house or anything, but people could certainly drink and watch a band.
Right.
Not get too out of hand.
Yeah. I mean, there's a no smoking sign that I made and put in the basement.
Oh yeah. That was enforced. That was
Yeah,
cool.
Except for when I smoked down there. No, yeah, I mean, it was, I guess the difference between the two, with Scarn, there was Nate, your co-host. He was living downstairs.
Homie, Nate Northway.
He
Zing.
took on a brunt of the booking, as did Scott for a while,
Cool.
and Olivia and Michaela even. Hell, even Marissa, she was there for a
Really?
few months. She got some stuff in there,
Nice.
but yeah.
Cool. It was.
I don't know. I think the even by the time that we moved into Scarn, I was like feeling a little burnt out.
Right.
And I know there's people that do this like full time.
Definitely. I know what you mean. It's that's kind of how it goes. I feel like though everyone has like their, like, I'm almost gonna like my experience with like living in punk houses and doing punk shows is like really similar. I feel like it's everyone. It's almost like a band. You kind of have your little like the amount of time that you exist as a band. For me, like the punk house when I lived at Scram Dunk, we had like a lot of shows.
Yep.
Ton of shows, almost like every other day. Or like I remember that summer in like July, I think we had like shows like 3 times a week, like really crazy. And people still managed to come out. And so when we moved, it was really easy to kind of keep that going. But like in that case specifically, like we just had like neighbor situations, and all of us like started just like having a little like having more serious jobs, like some of us, you know, so things don't. But it's like I think it's cool to see how that influences like your work and stuff like that too, because now you were always doing like videography and stuff like that, right? Like does
Yeah, I mean my background is in film.
Okay. Did you have experience with that like before like school? Did you do film stuff?
Yeah, I mean nothing nothing worthwhile really, but no, I started like making home movies in high school with my friends, my sisters. Yeah.
Would you say punk kind of like influenced that in a way? Like after all that had kind of been said and done?
I don't know about my video work. No, I don't think so, actually.
It's just kind of two different worlds to you?
Not necessarily, but it just hasn't like seeped into to my video stuff. And that said, I don't do that much video currently.
Except for Andy Radical.
Yeah.
Working on the video tonight.
Yep, soon to be released.
Hit the streets soon.
Coming
soon. Dope. Okay, art, like in terms of your art, you've done a couple shows, right? Or like installations recently?
Yeah. I don't know about recently, but
summer?
I think the biggest DIY influence to my art practice that came when I started putting on like DIY art shows.
Okay, tell us about that.
Yeah, so the organization was called the High Society for Lowbrow Art and Display. Actually, my friend.
I like that name.
Thanks. My friend Emma came to me and asked if I could like submit any work for a art show party that she was going to have at her house. But then her roommates weren't into it, and I offered up Scarn. And yeah, I don't really feel bad. I don't know if I should feel bad, but I kind of took the reins on the whole thing.
Sure.
And it turned out to be fucking awesome.
Awesome. Did that?
I don't know if I can.
No, you can totally swear.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it was great. We had, I don't remember how many artists exhibit, but they're all local, all.
Any ones that we could like shout out and people might know? Was Ethan a part of
that? Ethan Kastner.
Yeah.
I believe he had work in.
I think I saw it.
I know Johanna did.
Okay.
Gila.
Yeah.
Bender. Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who put work in.
Awesome. Did that continue?
Not as I had hoped.
Okay.
We had one more show. So the whole premise was to take fine art and put it available to the realms of like everybody.
Sure.
In informal settings. That was like the main goal. It has to be informal. I never wanted it to be in even like quasi gallery setting.
Sure.
I wanted
fancy.
Yeah, living rooms, basements, attics, etc. So yeah, that first one.
That's cool. That's fun.
We had at Scarn in the basement, and then we only had one more. That was a few months later at a different house on Holton, across from Pueblo Foods.
Okay.
And that one was a little not as well populated. I don't know if it was just a matter of like being too soon after the first one, or I don't know. It was also the summer.
Right.
Yeah. But
cool.
hopefully.
You think you'll do that again, maybe in the future?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet.
I couldn't tell you when, but
Right. Yeah.
someday.
Artists hit Aidan up. Hit the homie up. Put your Picassos up on the wall. What kind of stuff, like, tell us more specifically about your art. You do sculpture work, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's, I guess in the vaguest or broadest sense, yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Just kidding.
I
Did
guess
you like the sculpture thing where the sculpture's like spinning and you can like mold it with your hands? That's
a pottery wheel?
yeah.
I've actually never used a wheel.
Word.
I guess I would
Those
bill
look cool.
myself as a multidisciplinary artist.
Hell yeah.
My main goal since stopping the film stuff was to create these multisensory, immersive environments, and I think film influenced that quite a bit because that whole time that I was in film school, I was just thinking like I want this to I want this to like be more than just something that you watch on a screen. I want you to like experience it like viscerally.
Yeah.
So
like audio and visual kind of thing?
yeah, I started working with metal about a year ago, and that's come up in my work since then quite a bit. But as of late, it's mainly been electronics based.
Cool. You were working on a synthesizer when I came in today.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How does
Currently.
that work? Because I remember for the video, doesn't it also operate as like a light panel that can cue up lights, or am I thinking of something else?
The video I did with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not really the same thing.
Okay.
Similar though. So I'm using microcontrollers. This particular project is using a Teensy, which is just a smaller off-brand of a microcontroller. But essentially, they're tiny computers or processors, and you upload code, and they do things that you want them to do.
Sweet.
So yeah, I'm currently in the process of taking one of those like game rocker chairs, turning that
Lazy boy.
turning that into a synthesizer.
Dope. I can see it over here. It looks dope. You were working on it today when I came in. It was sick. I helped you weld it, or
No, you didn't.
didn't I?
Solder.
Solder or welding. Not really the same thing.
Yeah. I don't
cool.
know about aesthetics. It's like a bro chair, but hopefully the finished product will be fun.
Yeah, for sure. What's the ambition? Like, where do you want to be after school? What do you want to be pursuing with it? Is that a
Man,
thought?
I don't fucking
Are you
know.
taking it out those?
I mean, I guess I had always kind of planned on teaching.
Nice.
Just because that seems like the best deal.
The best deal. The best bang for your buck.
Yeah, because you get access to whatever facilities, and you get paid to do what you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. I heard too, if you teach,
Sorry.
it's okay. If you teach on the freaking like college level with the major, don't you like not have to get like an education degree in order to do that if you're teaching like solely on the college level? So like if you were working, is that true?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking music, because when I was in music school, I think that was like a thing. But
I think possibly for high school, but even then, I'm not totally sure. I've never really been interested in majoring in art education, just because it.
But it's always a good backup. Or like.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is the eventual goal.
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't know. At this point, like it's coming up real close.
What if you get really famous as a artist?
Well,
like, is that possible?
That'd be dope. Like, yeah, I guess that would be like the ideal thing.
Sure.
But as far as like making a living,
do you see that feasible? It could happen.
Not really with the work that I'm making or want to make, because they're not objects that you like buy and take home.
What else have you done in particular? Like, what other stuff do you do? What other stuff do you make?
In terms of different media or like different pieces?
Yeah, different pieces that you've done.
A lot of my work has been, up until very recently, altar based.
Okay.
So it's usually like a quasi installation.
Sure.
But yeah, you go up to this altar and hopefully interact with things.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's not really like a consumable or commodity, you know. It's about the experience for me.
Right. That's cool.
Some other pieces I've done have been, I mean, I guess I do have like objects, but
yeah, you could sell them, but
yeah.
you're not really thinking of it in that light, which is really good, because if you approach it that way, usually I feel like there's no way to go about success is by trying to cash out. But
yeah,
hopefully, if you keep doing it, something cool will transpire from it.
On the other hand, like I feel like Thomas Kinkade.
Who's that?
He's the puzzle guy. Like, I don't know how many puzzles he's been on, but it's like this super kitschy, fucking like wintertime cabin with smoke coming out. Just like
weed smoke.
I don't know, maybe. But just like very like consumable shit.
Sure.
I think he's got it fucking like down. I don't know if he feels like he has any integrity. I don't even know if he's a real person, but
right.
No, I would.
It's really interesting to discuss that, like selling out. We had an episode on that, and I was recently like watching, right? Because that's kind of, you know, in a sense, is what you mean, right? There's different ways to put that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. I guess the point I was trying to make was that, like, I think you can be a serious practicing artist, whether musically or visually, and, like, have integrity and do what you want to do, but then on the complete opposite end, like, still put out, like, bullshit because that's what will sell.
Sure.
So if I can find some quick and easy shit to make and sell it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like, make some ceramic figurines of cats.
It's not like you're dropping. It's not like you're dropping in the game and just like. There is still a lot building up to that, and you still have a lot in terms of your integrity or your reputation. It's like there's a whole catalog. Like, no one just gets there overnight, you know.
Right.
So
yeah.
that's cool. Sweet. Shit, man. I mean, what artist are you like inspired by? What do you draw inspiration from?
I couldn't pick just one. R. Crumb has been a huge influence.
Who's that?
Robert Crumb was a underground comics artist. Comics with an X. You may be familiar with Mr. Natural or Fritz the Cat.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah,
Comics with an X, you said?
Yeah, so it was this movement in the 60s, I believe it was 60s, maybe going into the 70s. Perhaps even continue on today, I don't know. But no, it's just like, I guess his illustrations are very gross looking, and
cool.
like in like a very attractive sense.
Okay. You like it?
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Cool.
And I don't know, it has like this punk sensibility to
Sweet.
me, even though it predated that.
Definitely. Ethos, an ethic to it.
But yeah.
Sweet. Anyone else?
Well, if we're talking like DIY.
No. Well, actually, I want to ask you a question about him. Did you get into him like at a younger age? 'Cause
the first time I saw his work was actually at the Milwaukee Art Museum when I was probably 10 or 12. They had a
exhibit.
Yeah, an
Cool.
exhibition on comics.
Nice. They used to have so many good ones back in the day.
Yeah.
Remember Warhol came through too, like back when I was like in middle school. I don't know if it's still like that, but I remember they were. You could get inspired super easily as a kid and go in there.
Yeah.
Awesome place.
And Warhol is another one, but
Yeah.
not for any of his printed work, I suppose.
Wasn't that all he did? Did he have other stuff?
Oh yeah. He did some great videos.
Okay. Oh yes, that's right.
Where it's just like extreme close-ups for
Yes,
fucking like 12
ever.
hours or something. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I like messing with the viewer. I think that's great.
Yeah.
But no, specifically the plastic exploding inevitable.
Okay.
All those happenings. That might be like the biggest influence.
Was that a
on
series?
my work. Well, I don't know that I could call it a series, but they were different events, happenings,
Okay.
where people would go to this party essentially, but like the Velvet Underground would play a lot.
Oh, right.
They would, like,
You were telling me
take
about
a bunch
this.
of acid and like
Hell yeah.
there's lights and shit, and it just seemed like a
Trippy. And they'd film it?
yeah. I mean, there's some video.
Andy Warhol would film it?
Yeah.
Dude, that's tight.
Well, I don't know if he personally filmed it, but he was behind it.
Okay, word.
Yeah.
Very cool. Sweet. Anyone else in particular? Like, do you what helps you create?
What helps me
Yeah,
create?
do you listen to music when you create?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But that really like varies.
Depending on your mood.
Yeah, I mean, when I do metal work, I tend to listen to like Ennio Morricone, like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the Man Without a Name trilogy soundtrack.
Who?
You know,
What's that?
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
I don't know that.
It's an old western.
Oh.
Clint Eastwood.
You told me today that you listen to orchestral music.
Yeah, I mean that's been the trend of late.
Chopin.
Well, no.
Bach.
I've actually been listening to the Kronos Quartet's album, early music,
Okay.
which that's something I'm just fascinated by, like ancient music.
Sure.
Because it's familiar yet strange at the same time.
Yes. It's comforting, but so foreign.
Yeah. Or maybe it's
Kind of like trap music.
yeah, I don't know, but
So I'll never be that hood. Ever. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That's cool. How do you when you turn on some orchestral shit, is it like, are you thinking about the music like consciously or kind of?
It depends on what I'm doing with my hand, like what my activity is or
Sure.
my project is in the time being. If I'm just listening to music for sheer pleasure and not doing anything else, like, yeah, I get really fucking into it. The other night I was listening to Rhapsody in Blue and was just like, I was pretty drunk. But yeah, I was just like swaying.
Going
and,
wild?
like, yeah, fucking. It was wonderful.
Dope. Okay, I mean, is there? I guess if there's nothing else, I was gonna close it up with like one more thing. What do you suggest to someone, like in your same line of work, like trying to be creative? Like, what has helped you like get to the point where you are like today, if anything? Like, what? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is,
Well, you would be
'Cause it's-
presuming that I'm somewhere, and I'm not sure that I am.
well, okay, I don't know. What keeps you going creatively? And if you can, try and loop it back to punk music.
I'd say
'Cause that'd be cool.
anxiety, mostly.
Like, I gotta get this done. Or like, I'm not gonna feel whole, right? You want to fulfill that void.
I don't know. I don't know.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
Like, if I don't create shit, like, for, like, a week, I'll feel like I need to get something, like, out of me. And it's temporary, or for the time being, when you throw it out there and it's, like, recorded, you're like, okay, cool. But then you kind of want to leave more. Like, you just kind of want to keep creating.
Yeah, okay.
I can see that.
So I guess going off of that, like, selfish as it is, like, I just want to, like, put stuff out there so that I'll be remembered, even though, like, that's dumb because nobody's ever going to be remembered in the eventual outcome. But
for a little while.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess, like, recognition, but at the same time, like, I don't.
Fuck everything. Trump's president now. I don't think anything matters anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
He's just gonna burn everyone.
I hope everything. Not. I think we should.
Burn him.
Yeah. Well.
Try and take over.
Work our way up.
Yes.
Yeah.
We could talk about that too. If anything, that's like more current.
Yeah, it's actually. Well, I guess it was yesterday, but.
Technically, yes, you're right. Fucking crazy.
Yeah. Fuck
How do you feel about that?
I mean, like, the whole election, I was thinking, like, this could never happen. Like, I never took it seriously, and I think a lot of people felt the same way.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this bad joke played on the fucking people that voted for him. Like, all right, not only is he not going to win, but you've just, like, outed yourself as a bigot and a
sexist, misogynist.
Yeah, just a terrible person.
Definitely. And you're now our president, and that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, last night I was like, I told you this earlier. I don't know. Yeah. I was, like, really excited all day. Like, fuck yeah, this is gonna be over.
Hillary's taking it.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really. I wasn't.
What happened?
I wasn't happy that she was gonna win, but I was relieved that it was gonna be over.
The lesser of two evils.
Right. But yeah, we were, like, playing a drinking game, watching the results, and then, like, suddenly I realized, no, this isn't, like, this isn't a joke anymore.
Definitely, that was a surreal feeling. I didn't really hit till, like, 2 o'clock today. Or maybe it did when I just, you see all the backlash, and then you're like, damn. Like, even my friend hit me up at 1 in the morning when it happened. He's like, yeah, he's minutes away from, like, becoming our president. I was like, it's just, like, it's too scary. And then the worst thing is to see, like, there were advertisements, I remember, like, building up to the election. And I think that's a really good way to put it. This way that I'm about to say is a good way to, like, put it in perspective for me. Someone who's old enough to vote is, like, worried about who's going to, like, take care of them in the moment, but it's like, you got to think of the fucking future. Like, 8 years is a long time. 8 years is a long time to influence other people and to, like, make an impact on the country. So how is that going to affect the fucking, like, our kids and our kids' kids? And that's, like, you know, I think that's a lot. Like, I saw so many stats this day of, like, people, like, saying, like, oh, like, I was fucking in tears just, like, thinking about, you know, because it's not just about you. It's like, it makes a bigger impact. So I think, though, at the same time, that when that is presented, when that fear is presented, like, something really, people tend to band together.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like you mentioned getting backed into a corner from fear, and, like, if you do that to any animal, chances are they're gonna fucking attack. They're gonna retaliate, and I think that despite the unfortunate results, there is great potential for
backlash,
some true revolutionary change.
Viva la revolución. Cool. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. This was cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, Aidan. Where can they, like, check you? Do you have any website or anything, or any social media?
I do. My website is aidangouran.lol. That's AIDANGOURAN.LOL. It's actually, I'm still in the process of building it, but it's mainly there.
Northway can help you, maybe.
He has, actually.
Nice.
He helped me out quite a bit initially.
Cool. Sweet. Bottomed out. Thank you, guys. Bow. Bye.